Hey guys, Dr. Morse, Injury Experts. We are your number one source for injury expert news that helps with fantasy, with betting, if you just want to know who's injured and who's going to play in the game. This is my Wednesday night wrap-up video. It's kind of a preview of exactly who I think is going to play, all the new injuries from today, which ones you're going to worry about, and which ones you really don't have to. This one is pretty well versed in kind of gauging who's going to play, but we still have Thursday and Friday practices, so there's a couple guys we really just have to see how they're going to play out. It also may help you determine who you might have to start on Thursday night if you have to pick someone up that maybe we're not anticipating to pick up. I start with quarterbacks, I head over to running backs, wide receivers, and then tight ends. It's usually about 15 minutes long because there's over 60 people on this list. It's getting a little ridiculous at this point. So I've removed all of the guys that are on the injured reserve, so we won't talk about them right now. New injuries for the week. Tua Tagovailoa suffered a concussion with a fencing response and was placed on IR, going to miss at least a month, if not longer. We wish him the best of luck. As far as Jayden Daniels, he hasn't practiced yet because he has a Monday night game. There's 2 Monday night games this week. He did suffer a rib injury. I don't know if he's going to be on the injury report with that, but I watched him suffer it. I was watching the game. So he took a big shot, but hopefully he's okay and no concerns for week 3. Justin Herbert today did not practice. It is confirmed to be an ankle injury. I reviewed the video. He did suffer likely a mild high ankle sprain on his right side. The video is not super clear, just given the angles, but coach said x-rays were negative, MRI was relatively negative, and he is probably not going to miss the game. There's a chance, he said, he's getting better with each day. So I think he's kind of 50-50, maybe 75% chance he plays in week 3. But this is the same side as his plantar fascia, so he's got 2 injuries now. Jordan Love returned to practice today. I think there's a chance he could play in week 3. It's a little risky still, but I think there's a chance. Josh Allen with his hand should be much better than last week. Russel Wilson is still limited in practice, and I think if he does play this week or return this week, he'll be the backup. Heading over to running backs, unfortunately, Isiah Pacheco did suffer a fibula fracture, which is that small bone next to the shin bone on the ankle. He got lucky in this, actually. They reported today no ligament damage, no complications. Dr. Robert Anderson did it, who does most of the pros. He's in since Charlotte area. And they said he had surgery, and he's expected to miss between 6 and 8 weeks, which puts him on track to return around week 9 or 10, which could potentially still be playoff and fantasy relevant, which is good. So do not drop him. If someone's in a pinch, you might even consider trading for him, because I'm not overly concerned about his injury long term. Once he comes back, because this is a fracture and not soft tissue or hamstring or anything that's going to linger, he should be good to go, and he'll be rested. So it's like he got a new burst of energy while this current ugly backfield kind of plays out. Breece Hall popped up yesterday on the injury report with a quad. It's probably a quad bruise. They're playing tomorrow night against the Patriots, so I'm not overly worried. He'll be fine. Aaron Jones did pop up today with a hip injury. He did limited in practice, which usually means he's going to play. I have some concerns about this. This is probably either a hip flexor or a hip pointer. I think Ty Chandler is probably going to get more rushing work. We saw that last week, but I do think Aaron Jones plays. Rachaad White, who suffered a groin strain, which are very frustrating injuries, especially for running backs, did practice in a limited capacity today, but I have some concerns about his ability to kind of move and juke, and he's at relatively high risk for re-injury during this. I think Bucky Irving becomes a better play this week, and he's really shown his ability to rush, and Rachaad White has always been an awful rusher in the NFL. He's been a volume guy and not efficiency guy. Joe Mixon did not practice today. This is likely a high ankle sprain, but it could be a medial ankle sprain, which is probably worse. And I have some concerns. The other running back that has been banged up in this backfield. Dameon Pierce is still out with a hamstring strain, so unless he magically gets better in the next 24 to 48 hours, I think Pierce is definitely going to be out. I think there's a pretty good chance Joe Mixon's going to be out. So that likely leaves Cam Akers to lead the backfield in a revenge game, quote unquote, against the Vikings. But keep an eye on that. There's a chance Mixon can still play, but right now it's 50-50. If he misses tomorrow, I think it's probably going to be only a 25% chance. Tyjae Spears did suffer an ankle injury. He did not practice today, but he said to the media, "I'm going to play on Sunday. We're good." So, okay. Jeff Wilson Jr. tweaked his oblique, similar to Kenneth Walker, who we'll talk about in a sec. Jeff Wilson did return in a limited capacity today, as did Raheem Mostert, who has a chest injury, and Devon Achane is off the injury report with his high ankle or ankle injury, who got crazy volume last week. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out with probably all of them or many of them active, but now with Skylar Thompson behind center, maybe they can make something happen in probably a shootout against Seattle. Tank Bigsby is not playing until Monday night, so we don't know the status of his shoulder injury, but it sounds like it was relatively minor and they just held him out for precautionary reasons. Pierre Strong Jr. of the Cleveland Browns suffered a hamstring strain and he's likely going to be out this week. They've pretty much said he's week to week, which usually tells me he's going to be out for probably a minimum of 2 weeks. Josh Jacobs popped up again this week with a back injury, not overly concerning, especially after having as many volume as he did. I think this is just the nature of a running back at his age in the NFL. Kenneth Walker, unfortunately, did not practice today, which is kind of a big deal. I have a feeling that he is going to miss this week. And Zach Charbonnet, who I tweeted about early this morning, because people were asking me, hey, can I drop him? I'm like, no, you cannot drop him, because there's a very good chance he's going to start this week. And Kenneth Walker, this could linger. This may very well be a re-injury of the same oblique that he suffered last year. And that means it could be a bad grade too. And these take about a month to heal. These are not easy injuries. These are painful injuries. So hold on to Zach Charbonnet until we hear any positive news for Kenneth Walker. But he was not able to do anything today. Not looking good for his week 3 status. Marshawn Lloyd, yesterday, it might have went under the radar. He ended up going on IR with an ankle injury. This kid can't catch a break. Bad hammy. And now a bad ankle. I don't know if it was a fracture or a high ankle sprain or whatever it was, but unfortunately he's on IR. So another ding to him early in his career. Antonio Gibson should be fine with a mild hip injury tomorrow night. Heading over to wide receivers, a lot of veteran wide receivers popped on the injury report today. Ceedee Lamb popped up with an ankle injury, but it sounds like it's mild, not overly concerning. He's not much of a guy to miss games. Nico Collins popped up with 2 injuries, a hip injury and a foot injury. But we got reassurance from beat reporter Aaron Wilson saying he's good to go. They're just being cautious with him, which is fine because he's earned that treatment. Someone of possible concern is DK Metcalf with a hand injury. We don't know anything about this. I did not see this happen during the game, and I watched the majority of the game. But I'm not ready to freak out until at least tomorrow. If he's another DNP tomorrow, then we're going to have to get some ideas of what's going on here. But most of the guys will usually come back and do a limited practice and then probably play. But we haven't made that decision yet. I will give you more information over the next 2 days. Justin Jefferson did practice in limited capacity today. He got leg whipped and has a quad contusion. I will warn you that he is not 100%. And he will probably not be 100% until week 4. So he won't be able to push it 100% this week, but he should be on the field on Sunday. Cooper Kupp, we got an update today. I did a video earlier if you want super detailed information. My suspicion is it's a left ankle sprain, and there's a very good chance he misses this week and could potentially miss the next 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how they take this. We're going to probably see a lot more volume of running. Jordan Whittington, Demarcus Robinson, and Tyler Johnson, along with Colby Parkinson. It's going to be a little bit of a hot mess. A.J. Brown, another do not practice today. Remember, he suffered it less than a week ago, so I have a feeling he's going to miss this game again, unfortunately. which does bump up Devonta Smith. But Britton Covey apparently come on down. He had 6, I think, targets in his entire career up until last week, and he had 6 catches in that game. And then Dallas Goedert should probably get some more volume as well. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a minor leg injury, but he is good to go. He was a full practice today. Deebo Samuel already pretty much announced out with his calf injury. I expect him to miss this week and probably next week. Josh Palmer was on last week's injury report with a knee injury, and he popped up this week with an elbow and a calf injury. And he did not practice, so we don't know what's going on with him. That could potentially be concerning. But we did see Quentin Johnson look fantastic last week, and Ladd McConkey has been doing pretty good himself. And J.K. Dobbins has been able to be not only elite and very efficient, but also healthy. Xavier Worthy popped up today with a quad injury, probably a quad bruise, not overly concerning. He was a full practice. He's fine. Jalen Nailor, who's been pretty sneaky for the Minnesota Vikings, popped up with an ankle injury, but it's minor. He'll be fine. And Jordan Addison did not practice today again. This is probably still that lingering right ankle sprain. I hope this was not a high ankle. It looked like a moderate lateral ankle. But remember, he still had that left high ankle that he had been dealing with. There's a chance he does not play again this week, so keep an eye on him. Rashid Shaheed did tweak his hip, but he's been incredible. I'm not overly worried about him. And then Josh Reynolds did pop up with an Achilles. This is probably his Achilles tendonitis, a la Christian McCaffrey, but he did practice in a limited capacity, so I think he's fine. Keenan Allen, another veteran rest day. He's dealing with plantar fascia, which is a very painful condition, on the bottom of his right foot. This is something he's dealt with in the past, and it sounds like it's come back. I don't have the most clear indication of whether or not he's going to play this week, which is unfortunate because I'm pretty high on him. Rome Odunze is practicing in limited capacity with that MCL sprain. Didn't do a whole lot last week, which wasn't surprising to me because he had just suffered that injury and he was a little high risk. Jaden Reed will be fine with his calf. Jamison Williams with his ankle. Juwan Jennings coming back from that mild, quote-unquote, mild high ankle and could take over for Deebo. Devon Valley of the Denver Broncos returned to limited practice today with a rib injury, which is good news because I thought he would be out another week. He may be able to come back. Tyler Lockett is fine with his thigh. Josh Downs says, yes, I'm coming back this week from my high ankle, which could help open up the offense. DeAndre Hopkins is technically healthy, but I still have concerns about effectiveness from that knee. We don't know any update on status on T. Higgins because they don't play until Monday night. If he practices in some capacity tomorrow, I think he returns. Roman Wilson will probably play this week from his high ankle. A.T. Perry's fine with his hand. And Malik Washington, the larger wide receiver for the rookie wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, is partially returning with his quadricep injury, so there's a chance he returns in week 3. Finishing strong with tight ends. Evan Ingram, I didn't expect him to practice today. They didn't technically practice today because they have a Monday night game. He did suffer the hamstring strain acutely on Sunday, so I'm not expecting him to play this week unless barring a miracle. Taysom Hill, who suffered a chest injury and had to go to the hospital to get evaluated, probably a rib injury if I were to guess, did not practice today. This kid's a tough dude, so I wouldn't put it past him to play, but probably not the best week to play him. Tucker Kraft, shoulder injury, probably mild AC if I were to guess, because he was limited in practice today. And then Greg Dulcich, talented but often injured tight end for the Denver Broncos, got a knee and ankle injury and was limited in capacity today. Schultz will be fine with Houston. Ferguson, good chance he comes back for Dallas, but be careful in his first game back. Njoku did not practice today with his high ankle, and I think there's a very good chance he misses this week. And George Fant has been dealing with that toe injury, likely a turf toe that's lingering, but he's been incorporated into the offense a little bit. That's what I have for you. Reminder, I will do a couple updated injury videos over the next couple days. I will do a live stream on Sunday morning. It's definitely going to be on Spaces. I might also potentially try to do a live stream on YouTube if I can get it to work this week. If not, join me on Spaces on Twitter, please. If you like this type of content, do me a favor, smash a thumbs up, subscribe, check out the injury reports that are free on the injuryexperts.com. You just need to make a free profile. Or if you want to upgrade, you can get my full extensive report that I'm reading off of right now. And you will have everything you need. I have projections. I have a bunch of other stuff on the site for a very small amount of money. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you in a couple days.